What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another video. If you've seen me from the Marvel Rivals video, man, I've been getting hella support from that video. So if you guys are from there, man, I really appreciate it. You know, I have not seen a video getting this big in like a long time. So I really appreciate the support, and I'm really glad that you guys have subscribed, you know, if you want to stick over and stuff like that, right? So that led me to a question, right? Since I've been getting like a new batch of followers and just a bunch of new people watching my videos, it made me think to myself, right? Now that you guys are seeing my face, right? Unless if you haven't seen my other videos where I have shown my face, right? You look at me, right? What's your first impression of me, right? Do I sound like an authentic nigga? Do I come off as like a bitch to y'all? Like, what do I come off to you? Do I come off as like a self-hating, performative e-boy? That brings me to today's topic that I want to talk about, because this is something that I don't even tell my friends about, because this is just something that I kind of hate, that I just keep it to myself. But it's like, I have to let it be known. I had to let it be known. It generally stresses me out every time I just, my phone is blinking. Every time I just see this type of behavior, something in me just irks, and I just can't help but just discuss what I'm seeing. And it's just like, I might as well just let it out in this video, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna, instead of just ranting to like a closed circle, I'm gonna rant it to all of y'all, because I need to let it be known. The man that honestly made me break into my breaking point, his name is Kyrio, or Kirio, however niggas want to pronounce it. And honestly, this video isn't even gonna be entirely about him. It's just that I've just saw this shit on Twitter, and it just pisses me off. Like, I just see this type of thing and I just get annoyed. So as you can see, just like many other people, Kirio is he's a VTuber, and which is nothing wrong with that, right? I even said in my Iron Man's video that like I'm cool with VTubers and stuff like that, right? The problem is that, you know, he's one of those guys that, you know, they have like this dark, like gothic dude aesthetic and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, with like some like black fingernails and like, I don't know, fucking stylized rings and shit like that. Which, I mean, yeah, there could be some swag and stuff like that, but like, once upon having that gothic setting and then combining it with a media like, I don't know, like Hello Kitty or some shit like that, usually like a product mainly consumed by women, I don't know, something just tells me that I immediately get red flags, right? But I try not to judge, and then they immediately start doing some shit like, we don't hate men enough. And that's just really weird to me. See, the thing is about a lot of performative guys, it's just that like, sorry, I just finished eating some food, so let me recover myself real quick. The thing about these kind of guys is just that like, they would really put down other men in order to appeal to women. And there's a lot of words that some people like to call this, like some people call it white knights and stuff like that. I simply just like to call it performative and stuff, performative, because like, it really does feel performative to me. It doesn't feel authentic, you know what I'm saying? The only reason why I also feel like I have like disdain for this type of behavior is simply because I just think that this is some kind of insecurity / projecting. Because listen, I'm about to compare this to something that may be a little bit extreme, but if you guys hear me out, then you'll understand, okay? Performative males like him remind me of niggas like Myron Gaines. Now, you may be asking, but Denzel, Myron Gaines is a man who bashes women, you know what I'm saying? He bashes women, he calls them resource extractors, he sees them as nothing but worthless bitches that deserve to be in the kitchen. He doesn't even want to support kids. Hell, he wouldn't even live in the same house as his own wife. Why are you comparing this guy who wants to support women, you know, to a man that hates women? Here's the thing, right? The two have something in common in a way. As you guys know, Myron Gaines is a black man, right? And he likes to put down a lot of other black people, mostly black women, right? But main is, he really does put down a lot of black men and stuff like that. That's it. Like the podcast, it's funny because, man, I should make a video on these right-wing podcasts, nigga, too, right? But basically, instead of like, you know, trying to use the resources that he has gained to, I don't know, improve the black community in any kind of way, or, you know, actually give advice to, you know, maybe young, confused, like young black males, you know what I'm saying, to actually help them be better in life, to make them stop whatever bad lifestyle that they're probably doing on a daily basis. Instead, he just, you know, he generalizes them, he gives them stereotypes and stuff like that. And you know, everybody says that, yeah, it's probably most likely because Myron is self-hating and he's projecting, he's insecure, you know what I'm saying? And it's just like, it makes sense, right? So why I'm going to compare him to, you know, the performative males is that they're also doing this same shit, right? Because Myron Gaines also believes that, like, if he's racist to all these black people, racist to his own people, then like he can basically appeal to the racist white people, right? And we all know how that goes. We've seen this guy, Myron Gaines. He's been going up in like Twitter Spaces, like whatever like podcast thing is on Twitter, whatever it's called. I think it's like Space or something. I don't know. But we've clearly seen what has happened when this guy gets into space that like he tries to appeal to, and it doesn't work out good for him.
This interesting. Can I make this interesting real quick? Myron, you were in my space the other day, and I said, you know, you're doing a great job calling out these Jews, but you know, if we take this country back, we want it for white folks. And would you go home? And you said, I was born here and I'm not going anywhere. And this is where I think the problem is with working with non-whites, is that once you think you help us, that you're just going to stay in our country. Do you still stand with that answer? You're an invader.
Nothing to do with you.
You hate the Jews, but at the same time, you are a Jew bioweapon. You're a Jew bioweapon.
The difference now is that Curio still hasn't been in that situation, at least not to what I have seen, and at least not for other performative males. Because if you're going to make your content on like just hating men, if that's going to be your whole shtick, then it's like the question is like, what are you gonna say when you do end up with this in a space of women that generally just hate the existence of men? Do you think you're in that? Like, what do you how are you gonna feel when they start bashing you? Are you still gonna have the same, you know, mindset that you have, that like all women are like, you know, perfect beings that can never do no wrong? Because that's what it's looking like to me. It's just always kind of like threw me off for a loop. I just didn't think it was okay, you know what I'm saying? Now the thing is, the only type of people that's really being appealed to, it's just people that I generally don't think are like, how can I say this while being respectful? I just don't think the people that like this type of shit are people that really go outside and actually communicate with people within their actual physical area. I think the people that only like this shit are chronically online people. I'm looking at the comments of this type of shit, like, I love hating men, like, you hate yourself, like, that's what it sounds like, and I will see it as insecurity, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what this is a crazy post, right? But there is a lot of women calling them out for this, right? And like, you know, does that make them incels? Because when you call out this type of behavior, what these type of people will like to do is usually call you out for being an incel. But no, it's just like, if I just go outside and ask people this type of thing, then everybody's gonna find it weird. Even women. I even went out to work and I even asked my female coworkers, and they said, yes, this shit is weird. You know what I'm saying? Because it's weird. Now, even this person's asking, sex pest or pedo? Now, I don't want to be that kind of guy and quickly label somebody as a pedophile. I feel like calling somebody a pedophile it's very damaging. You know what I'm saying? That's extremely damaging. But I wouldn't be surprised if he was some kind of sexual degenerate, because you're trying to like garner an audience of like men hating women, but for what cause? Are you trying to appeal to the woman, which is definitely true, but like, what is your intentions? You know what I'm saying? Because like, are you trying to get some like feminist pussy? Because like, I can't see the vision here. Because if they truly do hate men as much as you claim, then, you know, why do you think you're gonna get into it? So that's just my question. Like, what do you gain from it? What do you gain?
What do we gain from this shit? Like, word though, like, bro, what the fuck?
Yo, hey. Bro, what the fuck did we gain from this, bro?
And when these type of guys do call out other men, they usually like to say they're like triggered and stuff like that. And once again, like I mentioned earlier, guys that usually call these type of guys out, they usually are the ones that get to be called incels. But some of these same people, you know, they also be called out by women. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, you don't see them acknowledging the woman. But not acknowledging a woman can count for ignoring the woman. And when you ignored the woman, you can be counted as a misogynist. I don't know. This is just a little like side story, like side quest ass video I'm making. This is just something that's always just been on my mind. It's just like, or at least only been on my mind when I see it. You know, it's not something that lives rent free in my head, but it's just something that's always been like one of my biggest disdains. It just does. Once again, I'm like, I try to be as authentic as possible, and I try to be hanging with I can't speak. I try to hang out with authentic ass people. You know what I'm saying? So when I just see this type of behavior that you're trying to appeal to a group that clearly doesn't even fuck with you, like from the root, you don't look like you can be befriended to these type of people, man. You look useful, and that's not a good thing. They're trying to use you to try and save this, you know, to put this image on, but like you just look bad on a bigger demographic. You're appealing to such a small demographic that I just don't understand what you're trying to like gain from it. You know what I'm saying? It just seems pointless, dude. So yeah, you know, if y'all have any like, you know, not questions, but if you guys have anything to say about this, like share your opinion on these performative ass e-boy niggas, man, you just let me know, because I just see it and I'm just like, you just want this for some pussy, nigga. Like, just be yourself. Now, the thing is, we don't know how this person is in person. Like, we don't know how he truly is. We do know niggas like to come up with different characters and stuff like that online, especially this guy in this case. You know, he's a VTuber and stuff like that. So, you know what? He could just be playing a character. But once again, he's still trying to gain some pussy out of it. And I just know this. I just know that's what it is. You know what I'm saying? But, yeah, like, once again, you guys shouldn't be putting yourselves down. That's one thing I really want to get out the way. You shouldn't be a guy, or you shouldn't be a woman putting down your own gender. The thing is, we are all humans in the end of the day, and everybody's capable of some terrible shit. You know, you could probably throw out some, you know, some despicable things some woman has done at him, and you know what I'm saying? He's still probably gonna ignore it and try and find a way to bring up that a man has done far worse. You know, it's like, what's the point, you know? You shouldn't be bringing others down to appeal to somebody else. That's wrong. Okay, let's just be honest about it. That is completely wrong. What you should be doing, if you see a problem with a group of people, instead of putting them down, at least try to do your best to, you know, maybe have your saying it while making it right. You know what I'm saying? Tell them like what they should be doing instead and stuff like that, instead of saying, oh, you did this, I'ma hate you, instead of being like, hey, you know what, let's fix this. You know, that sounds like the best way to, you know, fix these problems. But I guess pussy's really important. But then again, you're probably not gonna get pussy. You know, the closest thing he could get when he does interact with these females, you know, he probably will get his balls stomped on by some Ashley ass bitches. But I don't think they're gonna do it as if you know, out of like sexual pleasure. I generally think they're gonna do it just, you know, to make sure they secure the chance that this nigga can't reproduce and, you know, end up making another male. You know what I'm saying? Because that's probably their biggest fear right now, bro. So it's just like, once again, you're just not gonna get anything out of it. Anyway, this is a small little video. I just wanted to just diss real quick. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, y'all have yourselves a good one.